Okay. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome back to your Elegance Boot Camp. For anybody new here, hi, I'm Maggie. You may know me for my food and femininity content. There's my my co host, Luke Hazley. We are the founders of the Finishing School for the Modern Woman. We love teaching women of all ages how to improve their etiquette, their elegance, their femininity. And part of doing that includes private coaching. I do one-on-one. We also have private group classes. Enrollment is open for the Finishing School. We start again in January. It's a privately taught 8-week course, and we would love to teach you. We also like to give back, and that's what we're doing here. So we are teaching you 30 things to do, one per day on your elegance journey. Lucy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now? Okay, so I'm Lucy. Okay, so there's background to this, but I'm Lucy, also known as Luke Casely 20. I have a channel, basically teaching Spanish from basic to maybe midpoint. Maybe later on we'll get into advanced. And from time to time, I sprinkle in some topics about society, femininity, elegance, etiquette, and so forth. So the reason I'm a little bit discombobulated is because I just got home from work. So as I get home, the laptop completely died. So my husband was trying to help me with the technical stuff right before we got this. And I needed to log into YouTube to share my stream, and I cannot see your comments. So I'm not able to see everybody saying hello or anything because I'm here as a guest on to your live stream. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to pull up the comments because my screen is completely blank. I know it's one of those.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Yesterday, y'all, I had a system update like right in the middle of my stream. That's what you get for not rebooting. So are you able to add your channel, Lucy? Let me put the link in the private chat. Uh-oh. And we lost Lucy. Oh no. I'm gonna put it in the private chat. Thank you for bearing with us, you all. All right, while Lucy is coming back, yesterday was my turn to drop off. Today it's Lucy's turn. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to bring you all up to speed on what we've been doing if this is your first time being here with us. So we'll do a quick review and then we'll talk about what is on the schedule for day 17. All right, so let me see if I can share my screen, y'all. Oh my goodness. One second. It's always something. All right, here we go. There she is. And she's back. I know. It's okay. It's okay. All right. To get everybody caught up. Well, first of all, how are you doing on time, Lucy? Are we okay
I'm
to?
good. I'm
Okay.
perfect.
So if you all have been tracking with us, we are giving you a teaching from Woman of Elegance Ultimate Guide to Elegance, your 30-day guide. So Vivienne has given us permission to teach from her book, and I'll tell you more about that in the beginning. She's got it broken down into categories. So in the beginning, we talked about that dress and grooming routine, ladies. Make sure you have a personal style that's your signature style. Make sure your closet is organized and ready for the day. Make sure your shoes and accessories complement you well. Make sure your hair and your makeup routine is consistent and simple. Make sure you always look neat and always smell nice. Work on that posture, ladies, whether you're standing or sitting, making sure that you show up confident and yet elegant. Then we moved into the conversation part of it, ladies. Communication is a big part of being elegant. Make sure you listen more than you speak so you can learn from others. Make sure you take time to think about what you're going to say before you actually say it, because once it's out, you can't take it back. When you do speak, make sure you're articulate. If that means you need to work on your vocabulary or slow down or work on your volume or tone, all of these you can improve upon. And when you do speak, don't tell everything. This is not about being dishonest, but your whole life is not for public consumption. All right, ladies, watch that body language. Anything that you do, we all have our little ticks and clicks. I love personal development and training, so I'll give you all something I learned today. Um, Meaningless movements makes your message mean less. So if you have any type of little anxious things that you do, it can show up and be a distraction to other people. So just be mindful of that. Make sure you're well read and versatile so you can be comfortable in any mixed setting. Then we moved into the dining section. We're still there. We started talking about knowing those table manners. Okay, you were not raised by wolves, ladies, and we are not men. So let's show up as elegant, making sure you know which utensils to use, making sure you know how to use and read a menu in a restaurant. And then yesterday, we talked about how you properly dine with others, from ordering to the order of eating and even the bill. All right. We are on day 17. I am so excited. I love, love, love afternoon tea. Now, in all seriousness, Vivienne is English, so a lot of this content is going to be more skewing towards British etiquette. And you will even see in some of the language, she calls it a wardrobe, we call it a closet. But I still think we can learn and we can take some things away. So, speaking of Vivienne, she is the founder of Woman of Elegance. I'm going to show you all her book. This is what we are studying from. And you can get your own personal copy. The link is in the description. Let me make sure I can pull it up. The link is in the description. She is allowing you all to get it at a 30% discount. And let me make sure I'm okay. I'm sorry, a 20% discount using the code Elegance20. So this is the Ultimate Elegance Guide. And I always have to say a huge thank you to Brandon Aljet, who made this book complimentary for all of our finishing school students. So if you would want your own copy, you can use code Elegance20, or you can join the finishing school and get all the other things that we have for you. All right, so we're up to day 17. Before we begin, Lucy, what would you like to add?
Looking forward to this. This is going to be your, I think it's one of your favorite parts. You love the tea things, and I'm going to be learning because tea, I come from a third world country, Nicaragua and Venezuela. We don't do tea. So this for me is something, it's going to be something really new and just fascinating to learn.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And I know I can nerd out about this stuff, ladies. I will say, I've shared often that I've taken so many etiquette courses: social etiquette, communication etiquette, wedding etiquette, style, just dining, everything. And one of the things that we have to do as part of the homework assignments is to go experience these type of social activities. One, so you can put into practice what you've learned, and then two, so that you feel comfortable. So ladies, we're not expecting you to go have tea time every day, but if you do find yourself in these situations, we want you to have the information. We want you to be prepared. We are very excited for the finishing school. We are planning our in-person graduation dinner in April of next year, so the ladies will be able to get their actual plaques, and we can practice our fine dining. Okay, so if you're interested, registration is open. So let us see. Okay, great. You were able to link your channel. Perfect. So let's see what Vivienne is saying about afternoon tea. The saucer stays on the table unless you're standing. Pour tea first and then the milk. Stir the tea forwards and backwards and not in circles. Okay, so let's talk about this, ladies. I'm so excited. So I did get some props. Now, this is not a proper tea cup and saucer. It's what I got. All right. So if you ladies want to practice, you can check most nice hotels in your city. I know the St. Regis has afternoon tea. Um, oh my gosh, what is the one with two names? It starts with an A. Check the luxury hotels in your area. Oftentimes they have maybe like a Sunday brunch, or they have afternoon tea. This is a great way to go and have an experience. You don't have to spend $400 a night to stay there. I don't do that, but you can go maybe with the ladies or even by yourself. And a lot of times coming up on the holidays, even if they don't have tea service all the time, they may have like, I know the St. Regis does tea with Santa, and there's another one that escapes me, but I'll think of it. Okay, teacup. This is a coffee cup, but this is what I got, y'all. Saucer is the small plate that sits underneath the tea. So when you go for tea service, it will be served with a cup and saucer. Now, what Vivienne said is that the saucer stays on the table unless you're standing. So if you're seated at tea, like most of us are, if you're seated at a table, you would lift up the teacup to drink. You don't do this unless you're at, let's say, a garden party or you're walking around at a networking event. If that's the case, then you would hold your saucer. I'm sorry, yes. But if you're at a table, then you would only lift the tea to drink and then you set it back down on the saucer. Okay, so that's the proper etiquette. Also, I'm bad about this, and look, to me, this is fun. It's not the end of the world, but proper etiquette is you pour your tea first and then you would add your milk, your sweetener, or whatever else. So when you go to proper tea service, I know some wineries also have them. Usually, when you go, they have a menu and it's a tea menu. So if you like tea, they have all of the flavors from chamomile to green tea to black tea to fruit tea to whatever. So you will choose a tea from the menu like any other beverage. Most of the time, when you go for tea service, it is loose leaf tea, and they will actually put the tea leaves in a hot kettle, and then everybody will have like their own individual kettle of tea that you can refresh yourself. So they'll usually tell you to let it sit for about 5 minutes to steep so it gets that flavor. Then into your empty cup, you would pour your tea first, and then you'll have all the accoutrement, all the accompanying items. It could be honey, it could be sugar cubes, and maybe white sugar cubes, brown sugar cubes, milk, whatnot. And then you put that in there. Last thing, and this is not a spoon, but if it were, proper tea etiquette for stirring. We talked about this, not like the boys do, okay? No, ladies. You want to go from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock quietly. So imagine this is a beverage. Literally, you just want to stir gently, top to bottom, okay? You don't want to make any noise, and you don't want to be splashing about, all right? So that is the proper tea etiquette for service. Lucy, do you want to add anything?
This makes me appreciate the tea set that we have here at home that we've never used. I think we inherited this from my mother-in-law, and it's beautiful, but I've never touched it. Now I could probably take advantage of learning how to drink tea and use the saucer and the little teacup and then everything else, because I'm thinking that the cups are really, they're small. It's like you can just pick it up and it's not like a coffee cup, it's a little teacup. And now I can see how, because they're so small, you can even look at yourself drinking it delicately. It's fascinating. I love it.
I'm so glad you love it. We'll come to the comments in just a moment, but just a little history, ladies, for those of you all who are interested. So the tradition of afternoon tea obviously comes from England, and it's because there was lunchtime. Lunch was served around, let's say, 12 noon, and then dinner was usually served around 9 p.m. And so there was an afternoon part of the day where there was some royal woman, I've forgotten her name, some governess or something, that she asked for the kitchen staff to bring her some tea and a few little sandwiches and things to nibble on to hold her over until dinner. And so it started with just her in her little parlor, in her little room. And then, like we ladies do, she started inviting over her friends, and it became an afternoon tea ritual where in the afternoon, usually around 3 or 4 o'clock, the ladies would gather for tea. And it became kind of the social event for the day or the week or whatnot. So ladies would put their dresses on and then they would go have tea and little bite sized sandwiches. And that was a time for women to, y'all know how we do, talk amongst ourselves and just kind of share. So a lot of what we do comes from royal family. We are not royal, but it's just one of those things that's tradition if you're interested. But there are a lot of different hotels and even tea houses. If anybody wants to come to Atlanta and go have tea with me, I'd love to go. I know Lisa said the Ritz-Carlton. There's another hotel. It starts with an A, and it escapes me that I've been to tea here in Atlanta. Everybody coming through. Let me see what you all are saying. Oh, hello, everyone. Thank you all for liking the live stream. I'm going to pull it up. I'm doing well. We've got some students in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. We love our students. Yes, Kaylee says, good evening, elegant women of America. Oh my goodness. Tara says, oh, afternoon tea. I'm so excited. My daughter just asked if we could have some tea during the week. This is perfect. Yes, absolutely. And sometimes, ladies, if there's like a royal wedding or whatever, I have friends that'll set up tea and just kind of have tea and watch it, or the coronation or whatnot. It's fun. And it's just one of those feminine things that I enjoy. So yes, the Ritz has it, and it'll come to me. There's another restaurant you all can check, but just go to the website of the luxury hotel in your city, go to their dining page and see what dining options they have. Usually they have, of course, room service and a restaurant, but you can check and see if they have afternoon tea, because it's usually served maybe 1 or 2 days a week from like 11 to 2. So it's not like an everyday thing, but it's a wonderful experience. I've taken my mom to tea. It's fun. So Kaylee has a question. Is drinking through a straw proper etiquette? Unfortunately, no. I asked this same question to my etiquette teacher. She said, Margaret, y'all know Margaret is my name. Maggie is my childhood nickname. She said, Margaret, straws are for children. And I was like, shucks. So here's the etiquette. We should be able to drink out of a glass. She said the only exceptions, if you want to be proper, if you have the type of drink, y'all know those big like cocktails and a pineapple that have fruit and all that stuff in it, that if you were to tip it, it would come back on you. In that case, drinking out of a straw is appropriate, or anything like that that's got a lot going on. But if it is a teacup or a water glass, that's another reason why I drink out of a glass, just to kind of make myself feel a little bit more refined. We really should be drinking I'll say properly. And one last thing, ladies, if you've traveled, especially if you go to Europe, like this mug that I'm drinking out of, this is ridiculous as far as portions. You'll know when you go to other countries, the service is, whether it's a water glass or a juice or even a teacup, it's a lot smaller. So one of my teachers calls it the paper cup coffee that we're used to in America. A lot of other cultures, they actually sit down to enjoy a beverage because it's a time to bond with others. In Europe, in Italy, and Greece, even in the gas stations where they have coffee, they have tables. So you'll order your coffee and they'll give it to you on proper serveware, and you sit down and you drink it, and then you take your dirty dishes. So it's very much an American thing to have these big tumblers everywhere. What would you say to that, Lucy?
Oh no, so this gigantic sippy cup, adult sippy cup is not good. But I love it because it's got my sister's name and we're all here. But yeah, I can totally see that gigantic sippy cups are a no-go.
Yes. And again, ladies, look, like I always say, when you're at home or with family, we know we've got a holiday coming up, you will be able to enjoy yourself and relax. This is just so that you don't do anything that you feel out of place or you wonder, why is everybody looking at me? Kaylee says, Lucy, have a tea party and use that set someday. Yes, absolutely. Maybe we should. I'm wondering in the finishing school if we should have like a little virtual tea party.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I would love to do that. Y'all think this is interesting? That's it. Thank you. The Waldorf Astoria. If you all have a Waldorf Astoria in Atlanta, we have a lot of these restaurants. But and even if it's not like tea service, which we will talk about, you can go to almost any hotel or even restaurant and ask for tea. And sometimes they'll bring out the box that you can choose from and just take time to enjoy it. Waldorf Astoria has tea service as well. Yes. Hello, Dr. Sherry Peel Jackson. Ah, ladies, again, I'm with you. Hola, hermana Lou and Miss Maggie. You love the fun curls and pearls. Oh, thank you. All right. Yes. Welcome to day 17. Okay. So let us continue. What does she say? All right. So we talked about tea first and then the milk. Stir your tea forwards and backwards, not in circles. Don't blow on your tea to cool it down. Hold your teacup by pinching your index and thumb between the loop of the handle and place your middle finger under the handle. Look into your cup while drinking and not around you. Okay, so let's, oh my God, I could nerd out on this stuff. I love it. Okay, ladies. So this is not proper etiquette. Do not do that. Do not do it with tea. Do not do it with soup. Do not do it with hot food. Okay, we are adults. We are not children. So the stirring process, the gentle stirring process, if your tea is too hot, while other people are talking around you, just continue to stir gently and then take small silent sips. Okay, this is something that ladies, you can practice at home. Get a teacup and practice small sips. A big part of the reason why we burn ourselves, yes, it could be hot, but we're trying to gulp it and we're drinking too fast. So a big part, I had to learn, this is a problem for me. Elegance is not rushed. So drinking out of a cup and drinking out of a glass forces you to be a little bit more delicate instead of just, tossing it back the way we used to. So you do not blow. It's poor etiquette and it's not really the most hygienic when you're around other people, okay? So if you have a pasta or a soup, so that's the tip for drinking. Stir if it's too hot. My tip for soup, if it's too hot, when you go in with the spoon, hold it up a little bit above the bowl. So take out whatever you're going to have on the spoon and just kind of let it sit there for a couple seconds, maybe while you're talking, and then bring the spoon to your mouth. So you don't go from the hot soup to your mouth. Also, the top and the sides are a little bit cooler, okay? So don't be digging in there. It's going to be hotter at the bottom, but you don't want to bring it up to your mouth and poor etiquette. Same thing if you have a pasta or whatnot, just slowing down will help you with that, all right? So we don't want to blow on it. And then holding the teacup, pinching your index and thumb between the loop of the handle and place your middle finger underneath. I know you all have heard that pinkies up is what you should do. Actually, that's incorrect. So index and thumb, it really should be like this. And I know this is not a teacup. And then you use your index finger as support. So if you know, a proper teacup is very much smaller. So this is actually like a little flower petal. So it's really just enough space for one or maybe two fingers. Then you use the other fingers underneath to support it. Okay. So we don't do pinkies up. That's actually not the proper etiquette. If you want to and have fun, that's fine. But it's actually pinch one or two fingers underneath to support. And then you look into your cup when drinking, ladies, like this, not like this. Okay, so you don't stare people down. That's like a meme, right? You don't want to be this person. Okay, look into your cup, just like you close your eyes when kissing. Look into your cup when sipping. What would you say, Lucy?
Now I'm going to have to get my tea set and practice it, because I have to practice all those steps, especially the one where you have to look into the cup, because you want to know the tea, what's happening around you. So now it's a must that I have to get it down in practice. But and also the holding of the cup, that's going to be interesting. I'm dying now. I have to do it.
And this is why, okay, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent. Finishing school alumna that are in the chat. So when we finished our classes, I actually sent a survey out to the ladies. What would you all like to do for our celebration? Would you like a brunch? Would you like a tea? Or would you like a dinner? I wanted an afternoon tea because I thought this would be so much fun, but the ladies voted for dinner. So we're going to be doing a dinner. But yes, there's going to be lots of options. And if anybody wants to do tea with me, absolutely. But yes, small teacups and just hold it delicately. What does Lady Navoa say? I have fibromyalgia, so I have to hold it like that. Or, catch my drift. So you need 2 fingers, not one. Okay, hold it sturdy. Ladies, just practice. A proper teacup is small. So it's not like you're not going to be, and y'all see me, I'm drinking out of this big old monster mug, but even still. So imagine a teacup this small. I couldn't hold this with one. It's starting to tilt down. So I'm holding it with 2, and then the bottom one supports, okay? You can practice it. It's not the end of the world, but thank you for being here, Big Ben. Lisa says, oh, here it is. And choose milk or lemon. Ask me how I know. I added both when I was a little girl. I am not a milk in tea person. I think that's very British, and that's fine if you are. I like a lemon, but I didn't know that. So we learned something today. So either milk or lemon. Ladies, if you ever go to tea service, oh man, I need to, did I do a review on this? Oh, it's incredible. The spread that you get, there's going to be lemon, there's going to be honey, there's going to be milk, there's going to be white sugar cubes, there's going to be brown sugar cubes, there's going to be so much. So have fun and enjoy, but I guess milk or lemon. What does Kaylee say? I always find it awkward when someone is talking to me while I'm sipping a drink. Glad to know I should be looking at the drink instead of struggling to look them in the eye when they're talking. Yes, you do want to make eye contact when you're in conversation, but when you're at tea or at dinner, like we talked about in the dining sections, when you eat, that's when the other person speaks. When they eat, that's when you speak. So that way you're not talking with food in your mouth. So yes, you can practice that, ladies. Look into the glass. Don't be this person. All right, let us continue. What does Vivienne say? Look into your cup while drinking and not around you. Okay. Sandwiches are eaten first before the scones and then the cakes. Use your fingers to eat the scones. Okay, let's talk about this. And you all might want to say, let me see if I can share this. Does she have a picture? No, it's acting up and I don't want to mess it up. Okay. So when you go for tea service, proper tea service, it comes with food. And it comes with 3 different types of food, usually on a tiered tower. So it looks like a triangle. The bottom layer are the sandwiches. Usually they're like little rectangular sandwiches with the crust cut off. It'll be a variety. Traditionally, there's like a chicken salad, an egg salad, a cucumber, really delicate petite sandwiches. And then on the second layer, they're going to be, we call them scones. They call them scones. I call them sweet biscuits. Okay, shout out to the South. But they're kind of like the pastries that you can open up and put jam and clotted cream and all that stuff. So good. And then the third tier is the dessert. It could be cake, it could be little bonbons or whatnot. So here's your proper etiquette. You start at the bottom and you work your way up. So when they put the tower on the table, usually there may be like one or multiple depending on how big your party is. So everybody starts with sandwiches and you let everybody have their fill of sandwiches. Now, here's the thing with tea, they will continue to replenish. We'll call them courses. They'll continue to replenish the sandwiches until you've had your full, and then you move on to the scones, right? So You have your salmon, your cucumber, your whatever sandwiches, you're drinking your tea, you're enjoying yourself. Once everybody's done with sandwiches, then you move on to the scones. Scones are actually to be eaten as a finger food. So, like we've talked about before, or maybe we covered this in the finishing school, you're going to have tongs. You use tongs to serve it from the tower onto your own personal plate, and then you eat off of your plate. So you would take a scone and put it in front of you. Then from in front of you, you break it open by your hands, with your hands, like an English muffin or a biscuit. There'll be jam, there'll be honey, there'll be all that stuff. And you can, have it the way that you want and eat it. Once everybody is finished with the scones, and they will continue to replenish. So if you want more, the staff is walking around and they will continue to ask, would you like any more, until you say no. And then you move to the dessert last. So it doesn't look like a lot of food, but you can actually get quite full on tea. So I'm going to stop there. Lucy, what would you add?
So we cannot grab one from the bottom, one from the middle, and one from the top and put it. So it's got to be you're eating along everybody else. When everybody else is eating sandwiches, is it sandwiches? Yeah, you eat the sandwiches. Once everybody stops, then you move on to the next tier and so forth. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, it's not a buffet. It's tea service.
Absolutely. I'm so glad this is helpful. So yes, ladies, this is not one of those, and they'll have a variety of everything, but it's part of the presentation and it's beautiful to see. So you don't just start attacking everything. Start with the sandwiches and then the biscuits and then the dessert. And this is for afternoon tea. There's high tea. There's all kind of variations, but we'll start with the basics. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Killa says, that's right, Maggie. This is a technique for a teacup and not a mug. So ladies, yes, excuse me, most of what we have at home, these big, gigantic mugs that we all drink of, this is not what you're going to see at tea service. So if you have one that's smaller, or you can even get one maybe at a thrift shop or a dollar store and just practice it. Since it's so small and delicate, it will be easier to hold just by pinching it and taking those small, silent sips. Ebony says, adding milk to chai tea is very common. Yes, that is the one tea that I will add milk to, because it can be a great coffee substitute. But ladies, you're going to be able to create whatever kind of tea that you like, whether you like it sweet or unsweet, with milk or no milk, honey or no honey, with lemon or no lemon. They're going to have the full spread in front of you. And that's part of the fun, to kind of make different combinations. And you'll just keep refilling your own and eating as you go. So absolutely. And if you go to tea with others, everybody will have their own tea. So if I want a peppermint tea and you want a green tea and you want a jasmine tea, we don't all have to share. Everybody gets their own. Ebony says, tea service sounds like a good alternative to brunch. I love it. I love it because they come to you. Brunch is fine, but for me personally, when you have to get up and go refill your plate, I think it kind of breaks the flow of the conversation. Brunch is fine. And I think there's some beautiful like brunch services that are buffet style, but I like to be served. So I like to be able to continue the conversation. But yes, and you all can practice this. Check the areas in your location. Yes, absolutely. Everybody's saying hello. Let's see. Nicely said. Anything to add to that one, Lucy?
So I'm thinking about, I'm a process person. I like to look at process. Is this a situation where it's all, because I do see Englishmen do tea as well, but when it comes to this type of tea gathering, is it mainly women? Is it mainly a feminine activity?
So it did start with the ladies. That is the history. But yes, especially at every tea service that I've been there, you see families there. One of my favorites is St. Regis has tea with Santa. So they have, all the different like seasonal holiday teas in addition to their regular menu. And then they have, special like seasonal sandwiches and scones and desserts, and Santa and his elves are running around. You see kids there. I took my mom there, so I've gone with grandma and the boys. Sometimes you'll even see like it's a great date. I've been to tea and I've seen like men and women, whether it's business or they're just, bringing their lady out. So absolutely men can go. Ladies, you'll want to wear something nice. It doesn't have to be formal, but maybe like a Sunday best. Men would probably wear it like a shirt with a collar, because it is going to be a little bit more refined. But absolutely, this would be great to practice. And even though when I took the boys at first, we had the talk and I was like, okay, this is for Nana. And they were like, but they enjoyed it too. And they had fun picking a tea and enjoying the unlimited refills of food. So yes, this would be an excellent event for the whole family. And ladies, you can go alone if you want to practice this. You could absolutely go and you could either have tea by yourself if you want to, or you can sit with others. And it's a great way to meet new people. What does Killis say? Growing up, we had 4 p.m. tea time. On holidays, we'd be allowed to have Coke and cookies, but traditionally is tea and special bread, maybe with butter or jam. Yes. And so since this started in England, of course, the upper class would have all these elaborate sandwiches or whatnot, but even in the common folk, like we all are, they still do afternoon tea. It just may be tea and like bread and butter, but it's more of like a traditional coming together in the middle of the day. I know other cultures do some type of afternoon, bonding. So you can make it as elaborate as you want or as simple as you want. I would do just tea and maybe like a Biscoff or something, but it's just nice to sit down and I love it. Hello, Miss Miller. Thank you so much for being here from Alex's school. Thank you for watching on Facebook. All right, so the last thing that Vivienne says is don't put your cup upside down when done. So let's talk about beverage etiquette, ladies. All right, a couple things to note. So when you go for tea service, and I know this is not a proper teacup and saucer, I am a boy mom, so everything in my house is industrial. This is one of the reasons why I like doing all these lady things, because it reminds me of my softness, okay? What I got is what I got. So when you go for tea service, when you sit down, the table will be set with a teacup and a saucer. When you're done, you do not do this. You don't do this with a teacup. And also, ladies, you don't do this. If you're in a restaurant and they're coming to refill, you don't put your hand over top to block it. That's actually poor etiquette. You can just say, no, thank you, quietly with your hand, but you don't turn your teacup upside down. If it's the type of service where they're refilling, they'll come. You can just kind of, say no, thank you, but it could be, hot tea on your hand. It could just be a mess. So you don't put your napkin or your hand over top. And when you're done, you're just done. So yeah, you just don't do that. Whether it's refilling your water glass, your tea cup, your champagne or whatnot, you can just say no, thank you. All right. Oh, I know, right? Biscoff, don't even get me started, y'all. That's my weakness. That's why I only treat myself when I'm flying. Anyway, Lucy, what would you add to that?
I was thinking it would be a nice date if a refined gentleman took a potential lady to a tea time event. That would be a great thing to see her just handle the situation, not necessarily because she would be a tea connoisseur or whatever, but it would be how delicate is she handling the information? Is she asking the right questions? Is she being just feminine? I think you're on mute, Maggie.
Okay. I was just trying to see if Vivienne had a picture of tea service, or maybe it was in the Canva that you had a beautiful picture of the tea tower. I'll see if I can find it. But yes, ladies, you can absolutely go. I think this is wonderful to go with a gentleman because it's not big portions of food. So when you go for tea service, you can plan to spend easily 60 to 90 minutes there because it allows you to take your time, sip something slowly. Usually it's in like a nice parlor or tea room. When I went to London, and I went to Fortnum and Mason, which is one of the oldest tea houses there, like they had the Queen Diamond Jubilee room, but they have a nice live piano, just playing like little tinkling piano in the background, of course, white tablecloth, the servers are nice. It's just a really nice ambiance. It's usually bright so you can read. And if you don't like to eat heavy and eat late, it's a great like mid-afternoon. I think you can make a meal out of it, but absolutely you could go, gentlemen could go. And this can be a nice exposure to an expensive hotel restaurant that maybe you don't want to pay, or you can't afford to pay like $100 for a steak. Absolutely. But you can get tea service anywhere in like the $40 to $60 range. Some of the seasonal ones maybe like $80, but I think it's a great experience to practice and just to be in that environment. When I went to the Waldorf Astoria, it's just nice, ladies, to go, especially this time of year when the hotels are decorated beautifully and you can put on a dress and they have the Christmas lights and everything. And, ma'am, may I take your coat? It's just, if you don't take time to do these type of self-care things, you can lose a little bit of the touch of chivalry that's just like missing because everything's so fast paced and it's like inhale and whatnot. It just really forces you to slow down. So I think it's lovely. I absolutely think it's lovely. Anything else to add, Lucy? Let me see.
No, I think this was a really excellent presentation about tea time. For me, it's kind of, as an American, I'm so sorry, my dog. As an American, you think about practicality, and tea for here, the United States, is not as practical as either having a brunch or having a dinner and so forth. So you have to find the right group of people to go with and the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people may not enjoy that setting. I would love it probably because it requires a lot more daintiness. And for me, knowing that I used to be a tomboy, that would be something that, oh my goodness, I need to be much more delicate in a situation like this.
Yes, I absolutely love it. And ladies, if you struggle like me with just rushing through everything and just kind of, slamming doors and banging hard and you don't even realize you're doing it, whether it's tea or whether it's sitting down to, going to a garden or whatever, being elegant requires that we promote our femininity and do the things that enhance it. Just know that if you do nothing, the fast-paced world that we live in is going to make you more masculine and make you more competitive. So if you don't want to show up that way, you have to find ways to promote that feminine side. And I just think it's wonderful, but it's not too girly that, men wouldn't also enjoy. What does Killis say? A time you should put your cup upside down is to get ready for a reading. I don't know. Is this some type of star sign, moon sign? I don't know anything about that, y'all. I don't even believe in it. But anyway, there are people that do that with coffee grounds. So you turn your cup upside down. You know about this, Lucy? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I think Santeria, like voodoo stuff, they do stuff like that in Santeria. In the Cuban culture, they do the coffee grind readings.
Okay, well, that's lovely. I learned something. I did not know that. But yes, ladies, usually it's really delicate china, so you want to, it forces you to be more delicate. Lisa says, I got to meet Eric Clapton at the Ritz-Carlton during afternoon tea. He's delightful and played the piano for us. Isn't that amazing? Ladies, at the St. Regis, I saw Stanley Tucci. You all know okay, the kids know him from, is it Iron Man or one of the Marvel whatever, but you all know him. He has a show on Italian food. So he's an actor. He's also like a chef. I saw Stanley Tucci at the St. Regis. A lot of these hotels, the really nice hotels, the St. Regis, the Waldorf Astoria, they have, even the W, they have hotel rooms, and then they also have like a residential, usually some of the top floors. A lot of wealthy people will decide to live there because it's just easier for them to not have to own property. So you never know who you might see just kind of being around these areas. I did last year several little outings at a lot of these places, and so it's a great time of year to get out and about. And especially if you're alone for the holidays or you want something to put you in that holiday spirit, just going to some hotels that have decorated nicely and have the Christmas music, it might just lift your spirits. Yes, glad to hear he's nice in person. Killa says I love him. Yeah, he was low-key. Yeah, that we're all the same. I think we're all just people. Gillis says, the lady I know that did that was a Romanian diplomat. She did it for fun. I think she learned it from the gypsies. It was a fun setting at a New Year's Eve party. Absolutely. So that's all that Vivienne had for day 17, ladies, on your afternoon tea. And we know that not all of this applies to everyone, but we love sharing and giving back with you all and making sure that you're aware. So if you ever find yourself in these situations, you know how to conduct yourself and enjoy. And Lucy, when you come down here, or any of the ladies who are coming to Atlanta, if you would like to do afternoon tea in addition to our dinner, I would love to treat you. I think it's fantastic. Yes. Any final words, Lucy? Anything else?
I also love to see all the comments. All of these ladies have such incredible stories. Look at Lisa, Eric Clapton. I thought Eric Clapton, his strength was guitar. I didn't know he played the piano. Incredible. That must have been amazing just to, to have that kind of like more of a one-on-one type of meeting with somebody that famous. Amazing. I love it.
Absolutely. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. And it's great for memories. Those of you all who have sisters or daughters or girlfriends, this would be a nice place to go and just feel more like a lady. We love a good restaurant, but sometimes, they can get a little loud, they can get a little rowdy. And if you want to let your hair down, that's fine. But if you want to put on a dress and go somewhere elegant, I think you all would enjoy tea time. We have Abena. Abena Olive says, hi, everyone. Is it okay to leave your tea bag in the tea? Great question. Okay, ladies. So I'm going to answer this two ways. Let me get my janky props. I know this is not a proper teacup and saucer. So like I said, when you go to proper tea service, even like some cafes, you will have loose leaf tea. Usually when you go to a restaurant or someplace that doesn't primarily sell tea, you will have tea bags. So I will come to that. But when you go to a tea service, you will pick the loose leaf tea, and they have some type of strainer. Either it's in the pitcher, because you'll have your own little individual pitcher of hot water, and it has like a little strainer in there. Shout out to Killis, you know about this. And they'll put the tea leaves in there. So then when you pour, you're only getting the tea, no leaves, so there's no bag. If you are served tea in a bag, you would put your tea bag in and pour your hot water. You are to remove the tea bag onto the saucer, and then you would drink just the tea once you've mixed it. Now, I reuse my tea bag. I don't know if that's proper etiquette or not. Maybe I'm just old, but I will reuse it. But honestly, you should steep the tea and then remove it. What would you say to that one, Lucy?
Sounds about right. I mean, because you're trying to I don't know, be elegant, and I'm thinking that reusing the tea, I'm not sure if it would be looked at as being as elegant, but you know, sometimes you need to redunk it, reuse it.
You're not alone. I know Christina says you leave the tea bag in. Sometimes y'all will see me drinking and the little tea paper is hanging here at home, and with y'all, I do. But I love sharing with you all what I've learned. Dr. Sherry says I reuse them at home also. So yes, it's not the end of the world, but ideally you're getting the flavor out of the tea. But the best and the freshest tea is going to be those tea leaves. And once you've had really flavorful loose leaf tea, oh man, it's incredible. Oh, I want to go and I want to do like a live stream. I want to do like a live stream from the tea. I think we should do a virtual tea. Killa says, I like my tea strong and dark. I'm the opposite. I like it light and sweet. When at home, I not only leave my tea in my cup, but rewarm it in the microwave with it. Oh, you're extracting all of that tea out of there. For some, it's too bitter. Yeah, I don't like a bitter tea. I like a smooth, I'm a floral tea. Everybody put your favorite tea in the chat. Are you a chamomile? Are you a jasmine? Are you a green tea? Are you a black tea? Are you a citrus tea? Are you an oolong tea? When you go to a proper tea service, you will be looking at that menu like you looked at a wine list and you're like, I don't even know where to begin. You can ask the waiter to recommend something. That's a tip for you ladies. If you're overwhelmed like I am, you can say, I prefer something light and sweet. What would you recommend? That's what I do because I can't decide. I love a floral tea. I like a chamomile tea. I like a jasmine tea. So I like my teas kind of light. If I do have a black tea, I'm usually like 2 dunks and then I take it out because I don't like it too bitter. What about you, Lucy? What's your favorite type of tea?
I don't have one. I don't drink tea. So I would be like a new person coming in saying, what would you recommend? Because to a newbie. And I'm sure that they're probably going to recommend something light. I would think a floral would probably be my desired taste, but I don't know. You never know. It just plays with your palate, and I mean that would be so fascinating to go in there and try it out. Maybe we should try it out, Maggie, when I'm over there.
Yes, when you come to Atlanta for research purposes, and any ladies who are coming to our
Research
in-person,
purposes.
and again, shout out to the finishing school. So we have a new session that's going to be starting in January. So any ladies who are interested, we'll do another 8-week class starting next month. Link is in the description. Go to teachablemomentswithmaggie.com to sign up. And then we have finished our fall session. We'll have a winter session. Then in April, we're going to have an in-person graduation for all of our students. So if you want to join us for tea and or dinner, it's not too late for you to join. So yes, you can absolutely recommend. In some places, I think at the St. Regis, they'll let you pick multiple. So they'll let you choose like 2. Some places will say pick 1 because they're actually giving you your own pitcher, but sometimes they'll let you choose multiple. Like I'm a sampler, so I love everything. Let's see what you all like. The one and all, the one above all says, long as I have honey, I'm good. Yes. I like the brown sugar cubes. I don't know, like to me, sugar cubes are elegant because they're kind of a throwback because you don't see that on the table, but you'll have the nice little tongs that get one little, oh, it's so lovely, ladies. Okay, so the one above all says you like honey. Okay. Abena says you like green tea and black tea. Thank you very much. Absolutely. You are most welcome. Accountability says you like a green tea. I've heard that green tea has those antioxidants, and I hope he's not listening. Antioxidants and health benefits. I'm not going to use any bad language, but I was talking to my man this morning and he's like, yeah, let me go drink some of this matcha. Okay, first of all, simple Southern man, okay, just coffee and biscuits. And he's a VP, he works for a company. And I was like, matcha? What are you doing drinking matcha? For those of you all who don't know, matcha is a Japanese green tea. Usually, I could nerd out on this. Usually with tea, you have the leaves and they're usually strained or in a tea bag. So you don't actually get the fiber of the leaf. You just get the flavor extracted from hot water. However, matcha is a Japanese tea that they actually grind down the whole thing. So it's like a powder that has the root, it has the leaf, the stem, everything in it. So, Killis, you would like it. If you like a tea with a bite, you would like matcha. So I'm talking to him this morning. I'm like, why are you drinking matcha? You don't strike me as a matcha kind of guy. He's like, I'm working with these young folks drinking this green. And I was like, so sorry, that was funny to me. That's what I heard this morning, y'all. So let's see what you all like. Enough about me. Killa says, I'm that low country from August tea. OMG, you're actually out. You need to reorder. Killis, remind us that low country, was that a citrus tea? It's probably like a black tea, knowing you, like a strong black tea. You sound like an Earl Grey kind of girl. What does Kim K like? She says she likes a chai tea with hazelnut coffee creamer and peppermint. Okay, yes, ma'am. I love a spiced tea, especially this time of year, ladies. Chai tea, pumpkin spice tea, cinnamon tea, peppermint tea. This is a great time of year to kind of experiment with those seasonal flavors. I love that. Another good one is the, what is the tea that comes in the triangle? You get it at the nice restaurants. It comes in the triangle bag with a little leaf. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I have some over here. Oh, somebody will know what I'm talking about. It stands up. The tea bag stands up. Somebody help me. Dr. Sherry Peel Jackson says, I have a garden with oregano, rosemary, and lemon balm. So I put those in there in a tea ball with honey. That sounds, tea forte, I remember it. That sounds incredible, the lemon balm. Christina says, I love the Bengal cinnamon spicy tea. I haven't heard of Bengal cinnamon. Yes. Bigelow has some good flavors. What's some other good tea brands? What are you sipping in your cup, Lucy? What do you have in there? Is it just coffee or water?
I have water, iced water
Or wine?
with a thing of vodka. Iced water with a drop of lemon or lime and the little lime thing at the bottom. But yeah, no. Yeah, I'm pretty simple. But I do like all these tastes.
Oh my goodness, I'm telling you.
Killis has a really, her palate seems to be, she likes strong stuff.
Yeah, Killis is our whiskey girl. She wants whiskey and ribs for breakfast, so we know better. Lisa says, I like Earl Grey. I know, boring. Look, there's nothing wrong with it. Earl Grey or English breakfast, any of those teas that are very common. It's what you like, and that's what I love. And when you go to tea service, ladies, the menu will be like a wine list. So you know how you have your white wine list, your red wine list, your blush, your sparkling, your dessert wine. So in a booklet like that, they will give you a menu, a tea menu, and it will have it broken down into your black tea selection, your green tea selection, your mint, it's incredible. So yes, if you like Earl Grey, it's a classic. I love it. Killa says, Lucy, a basic Earl Grey black tea might be a good start with some sugar. I think you'll like it. Absolutely. Start simple and experiment. You all can buy the tea samplers in the boxes and get a few bags of each and give it a try. Tara says you reuse a tea bag at home. You are not alone. You are not alone. Okay, sorry, y'all. Y'all know about my outbursts. Killis says, haha, Earl Grey is really good. They make really good flavors. You like the basic black tea, but their other flavors are good. I've never had a flavored Earl Grey. I've only had the black. Killis low country tea. Here we go.
There it is.
Tastes like burnt sugar buckwheat, chicory, and bourbon. I told you, shout
There
out
it
to whiskey. You can get, what is it? Is a hot toddy the one that's like you can put a liquor in tea? I don't drink it, but there's a tea that you can put a splash of your liquor of choice in there. I just like it basic, but yeah, I think a hot toddy. Um, oh God, especially this time of year. I think that's what it is. I could be wrong, y'all. Y'all need to experiment more. Tara likes a fruit tea and an Earl Grey. Killis says, my second favorite you have in the sample box. It's floral and it's called Metropolitan. Yeah, I love a floral tea, but I'm a lightweight. I like it light. It's got a Bengal tiger on it, your brand. Okay, I may have to look for that. The one above all is laughing at us. We're having a good time. Just when we were feeling all elegant and dainty, here comes Killis with her whiskey, ribs, cigars, and strong tea and strong coffee, and she's happy. I think we need to
Okay,
close.
we may have to take like a field trip to Killis's area and have like a get together because she sounds awesome.
Killis is like that older auntie or grandma with the flask. Y'all know who I'm talking about, the one who's always got a little something going on.
Did you
Yes,
see
it's a hot
that
toddy.
bracelet that people can open it up? It's a bracelet, and then they open it up, they pour the alcohol in there, they close it, and then they bring it anywhere, and then you see them pouring it from the bracelet into drinks. It's awesome.
Did y'all know about these liquor bracelets? I didn't know. I was only talking about the flask underneath the desk. People have. I'm gonna be looking at
Yes,
people's jewelry
they
now.
exist. I promise you. I've seen it.
Did y'all know about the liquor bracelets? Oh my goodness. I didn't know. I learned something tonight. Ebony says Middle Eastern culture, and Lucy, just stop me whenever. Middle Eastern culture, they're known for black tea. Yes. And the Middle East teas, very strong teas, very spicy teas. A lot of cultures use it almost like a digestive. So it's some people drink it by itself or after a meal. Absolutely. Tara says your husband likes a matcha as well. Well, him and my guy will have a good time with that green. Christina says honey whiskey is the best. Okay, we got some whiskey girls in the house. All right. I'm not a whiskey drinker. I'm more of a rum or like a champagne. Do you have an alcoholic beverage of choice, Lucy?
Yeah, tequila. Sorry. I don't drink, but if I drink, it's the tequila shot.
Shout out to Lucy and the
The
tequila
tequila
shot.
though, because that's the one that it goes down smoothly and there's no hangovers. And of course, you know, you gotta drink it in you gotta be very careful about how much you drink. But yes, that's that and maybe a Corona or a Tres Equis for beer. But I'm pretty light. I really don't drink.
I am not a beer drinker at all. I like a rum in a cocktail. I'm a girly, like fruit, like with a splash maybe, or I do like a good sparkling wine, a Riesling, a Prosecco, something like that. Miss Miller says Bigelow lemon ginger. That's an excellent tea, especially this time of year. My mom swears by honey, lemon, and ginger. You got to tickle or anything. I know Killis was up here with her hot toddy for the flu or cold. So yes, some of y'all believe in drinking your cold viruses away. Yeah, Killis sounds like a lot of fun. Absolutely. Uh-oh, we're scaring Dr. Sherry with our whiskey talk. Oh, the drinking bracelets. Watch Killis look up one. I bet you she's gonna inbox me. I found it on Amazon. The one above all says, if I see that, I'm getting them help. So, ladies, bring your BYOB does not stand for bring your own bracelet. Sorry. No, ladies, if you got to carry it with you, that's another problem. Okay. All right, y'all. We're
I
going to
promise you, if you look at bracelet flask in Amazon, there's an array of flasks as bracelets. You're going to have your choice. It's funny. It's funny, but it's scary too, because I have actually seen it.
I believe you. And on that note, we started out talking about delicate tea time. Somehow we have devolved into tequila sunrise, liquor bracelets, and Killa says, give that bracelet to the person who eats soup with their hands. Okay, ladies, thank you for joining us for day 17 of your Elegance Bootcamp. We are here for you usually around 9 p.m. Eastern every night. So tomorrow is Saturday. Are we good for same time tomorrow, Lucy?
Oh, you know what? My sisters are planning a dinner with my dad because the first dinner, one of my sisters wasn't here and she's back. So I'm going to find out when it happens, and we may have to move it to an earlier time.
Totally fine with that. So you all, if you want to join us, the Elegance Bootcamp is on my Facebook, my YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, my Instagram, Lucy's YouTube, and we are also on Spotify. So turn your notifications on. We will schedule day 18, maybe a little bit earlier tomorrow, but we will see you all back whether you watch live or the replay. Thank you all so much for being here. This is so much fun. We love sharing with you. And what does Ebony say? I love that there are so many women that love their femininities into the course. The one-on-one attention is fabulous. So our students are here and they are shouting out. So if you want a complimentary consult with me, you want to do one of our private group coaching, Teachable Moments with Maggie.com. All right, everyone, we're going to let you all have your evening. Anything to close us out, Lucy?
I think we're good.
All right. Yes.
Yes.